Hey guys, welcome back to Excel Walk. My name is Martin Wanjohi. Today I'm going to walk you through how to create a progress bar using Excel. That's right, a progress bar using Excel. Now, for those of you who do not know, Excel does not offer this feature. In fact, it is not even available, but using charts, using bar chart to be exact, is what we are going to be using to do this. So let's get into it. Okay, so we want our progress bar to look something like this, so that when we change it to maybe 100%, it brings us 100% complete. When it changes to 10%, it shows us something like this. When you change it to something like 30%, it brings us something like this. So I'm just going to minimize this and then open a new Excel chart. And then once it opens, we are going to create those key requirements for making this happen. That is progress and remaining. Let me just write this correctly, remaining. And then we want to make this we want to change the formatting into percentage. And then we want to put here a formula, which will be 1 minus anything that is put on the progress cell box. That way, if we were to put here 10%, it subtracts itself from 1, and then it brings us 90%. And then after doing that, we are going to put another section, which is progress, and then uh, complete. Now, I will discuss about those two sections later on during the end of this video. So if you want to learn what they are used for, stick around and you will find out. So once we have done that, we want to give this a name. So I'm just going to select that and merge it and give it like a name, progress bar report, progress bar. Let me just write progress bar. And then now comes the fun part, inserting the bar chart. So I'm going to put it right here. So I'm going to select these two sections, and then I'm going to head over to insert. And then I do not want to choose anything here because it's very limited. So I would want to click this button and open the overview of the chart section. And then I want to head over to all charts. Now, one thing Excel does not allow you to do once you're here is selecting the kind of chart you want to, if you select anything from here. So that's why I headed over to here, so that can give me all these options. Now I want something that puts the two progresses on one stacked line. So I want to choose to peruse over here and find it, and here it is. This is what we want, and it is found on the second bar, which is called stacked bar. So I want to choose this, and once I've chosen it, I want to press OK. So the next section now is to change the formatting. We want to make sure that this bar chart looks like a progress bar. So I'm going to click on this section, which is orange, and then right click and then say format data series. Now for this window to appear, you will have to click format something. Anytime you click here, just head over to format. So like I've clicked here, and then I would want to go over to bucket and then fill. Ideally, you can also do this just by right clicking and it will show up here, but I just wanted to show you the long method if you're using a different Excel. And then I'm going to head over here. So I'm in the fill section, so I want to change this to green. No, I want to make it a little bit, let's make it a little bit darker so that it looks like as if a bar is being filled. So let me just leave it at that. Let me just change it to be a little bit darker. And then I want to choose the second stacked option and change this to the dark green that we want. The next section is adding a border here. So I would want so that the progress bar can look like it is not spilling over. So I want to click here and then head over to here, and then from the border section I want to choose border line. I want it to leave that color, and then I'm going to apply the same color here. So I'm going to click here and then choose on the border section there. For those of you who do not trust this data point pane that appears, you can right click alternatively and choose the outline here. So we have the border and our Excel is starting to take shape. So the next part now is to add data labels. So we would want to head over here, right click, and then choose add data label. Now you'll realize it has brought us 90% right away. But this 90% will conflict with the idea that we have, because the progress is what we want to show as full. Like if we put here 90%, look at what it's doing to the chart. So we do not want that. We want it to mimic what is already on the remaining, but on the visually to show what is on the progress. So what we want to do here is to click here, just click it, and then interlink it. So the only way to interlink it to another data point is to continue clicking it until it gives you this drop down. And then head over to choose cell, choose the progress section. Okay, now let's add a bit of formatting so that it can be visually seen from far. So we want to add maybe the up to 20. Then maybe let's put it in italic. So as you can see here, the axis has a constraint here. It reaches up to here, but we want it to reach here. So how do you change this? So you head over to here and choose and right click on the axis and click format axis. It will bring you this section. So you want your minimum here to be 0, which is okay here. And the maximum bound, we want it to be 100. So we will change this to 1.0. Once we do that, now our progress bar will be filling all the way to the end. Okay, now comes my favorite part, and that is cleaning the chart so that it can look exactly as a progress bar would look like. So once we are here, we just want to head over here and choose the chart element here. You can just remove it here by clicking all of this. So I'm just going to head over here and click those. And then once I do that, I want to remove the axis also. And then I'm going to head over here to chart title. So because I want it to resemble a complete progress bar, and then press equals, and then once I've pressed equals, I'm going to select this so that it can take that name, and then I'm going to press enter. Then I'm going to change this just like that. So I'm going to reduce my progress bar and make it, the goal is to make it a little bit thinner and a little bit longer, just like that. Then you'll realize that the percentage or the percentage count is appearing at the center, but we want it to appear at the far end. So here's the fix on how to change that. So we want to click this and right click it and then say format data label. And then let me just click here, format data label. And then once you are here, you want to change the label position. So it is in center. Let me change it to inside end. So by default, Excel puts the data label at the center. So this way, whenever we change this to maybe 80%, it mimics the completeness of the bar chart. So the next step now, let's put 100 and see how it looks like. Now that doesn't look good. So ideally, we want the 100% once it reaches completion to display at the center. So how do we change this? Because as you can see at the moment, it displays 100% at the far end. So the only way to tackle this is to make the 100% appear using a different condition. And the condition we are going to be using is the if logic. So If you do not know how to use if logic, I'll put a link here on one of the videos on how to use if logic. It's very simple and straightforward to use. If logic is a must if you want to learn how to use Excel. So I'm going to go ahead and put, so this is why we put these two here. We want to put an if logic here. So I'm going to put here if, we want to put if H2 is not equal to 100%, we want to return H2. Else, if it is not equal to 100%, if it is greater than 100%, we want it to return blank. And then over here, we are going to put another if function. If H2 is equals to 100%, we want it to return a notification. So the notification we want it to put at the center, that is 100% complete. If not, we want it to return blank. So by doing that, we are telling Excel that this bar chart, we want it to return 100% complete when it reaches 100. But if it is somewhere between 0 to 100 or 0 to 99, it just returns the other values and not the 100% complete. So what we will do is to come here and just change this. Let's change this to something like 20% so that we can be able to see the two stacked charts. So once we have done that, let's first change this format to be that way. Now we want it to show us 20% here. Now, as it is right now at the moment, 20% is showing, but we want it to disappear when it reaches 100%. So we will need to migrate it from H2 to J2. So we will need to come here and choose, instead of H2, I think that clicked when I clicked down here. So I'm going to click here. And then once I've done that, I'm going to click here and then right click and say add data label. Once I've done that, I'm just going to click on the data label and modify it a little bit to look appealing. Then I'm going to change its color to white. And then I'm going to double click on it until that section for changing the cell value comes. And then after I've done that, I'm going to choose J3, just like that. So when I do that, let me just increase the size. You'll understand why I'm doing that in a few. Then when I come here and write 100%, there it is. So let me just increase its value so that it can show the message. And there you have it. So now when we come here and write 10%, it changes. When we write 100%, it changes. So that's how you create a progress bar using Excel bar chart. You can place it on one of your dashboards and also include the functionality of it on a different worksheet where no one has to know. And then you could be just updating the functions, and the bar chart will work as a progress bar. If you like this video, you make sure to leave a thumbs up, as it would really help me to be able to reach more people and to assist them to use Excel to its fullest. This has been Martin Wanjohi from Excel Work. Until next time, keep working.